Hey. Oh, you really gonna do that? It always had to be somebody hating, you know? It's okay, it's okay. It might be a little hard to take me seriously at first, but what I'm about to say is about to put an itch in your wig.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Hopefully not, though. I would like to think I'm valid with my opinions. I'm still very open to hear all of y'all's, so feel free to argue with me in the comments section. I'm open to being wrong. No, I'm open to hearing your opinion. Alright, so hopping straight up into it. Yes, this is how I showed up to the movie. I put the whole fit back on for y'all, wig included. Yesterday, I went to go and see Demon Slayer, the Infinity Castle. The movie. Yeah, popcorn in hand, sitting in the... This is leftover popcorn from the movie. We're gonna hop straight into it. You already know what this is. I don't remember exactly everything that happened in order, but trying my best because order is important. It does matter. Trying my best. We start off the movie with Guillaume talking to the master on the plan and what was gonna happen. You know, just a slight recap of how we got into the movie, how we got into the castle in the first place. Everybody's pushed into the Infinity Castle, and the first thing we do is we see all of the group ups. We see everybody with their duo. We see Iguro with Mitsuri, we see Guillaume with Muchiro, and of course we see Tanjiro with Giyu. Right off the bat, I'm noticing some weird things because Genya's alone, Inosuke's alone. If you came for Inosuke, by the way, if Inosuke's your favorite character, you may end up disappointed. We don't see bro throughout the entire movie. We do, obviously, but not for bro. He don't do nothing yet. We get the cool opening scene of Giyu and Tanjiro working together, catching each other, or Giyu catches Tanjiro and things like that, because his ass could not break his fall for some reason, and Giyu had his back. We pretty much go straight into a battle in this movie. And the first battle that we end up seeing is Shinobu, and she just happens to run into Upper 2. Shinobu versus Upper 2 is the first battle that we get, and boy, oh boy, here we go already. Now, it's to no surprise here, Shinobu lost, and bad. This is where the main part of this video I already know is going to go into this. It's no surprise because it's the weakest Hashira against Upper 2. This is 2 levels down from Muzan. Upper 2. The weakest Hashira. Like, stop it, bro. She immediately sees him, and then I believe we get a clip to her backstory a little bit saying who this demon is. After that, we get another clip into some other things, some other people grouping up and things like that. But for the most part, honestly, first 20 minutes or so, we're in there in this battle. And this battle is very tough because, well, the matchup was already just not in her favor. But also, this just happens to be the demon that killed her older sister. And we already know how this revenge shit go. We're not going to step down from the battle even if we know we're going to lose. Mainly just out of her wanting her revenge or whatever, man. You know, it's really tough. Throughout this battle, it's very odd because I feel like something was missing. First off, I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet with y'all. Shinobu only landed 2 hits for real. And it was the first hit, which was actually really good. A fucking Shinobu jump scare that happened. When I was in the theater and I saw that, I was fired. The jump scare that happened and the very final blow. Throughout the whole fight, it was really awkward because when Shinobu landed that first strike, she had to do her poison thing. She can't behead demons. She poisons people, right? Okay, so why didn't she charge up or capitalize on when he was down? And he himself, throughout, the demon himself questioned her, like, aren't you gonna attack me before the poison wears off? You know, it was very odd. And I'm looking like, okay, Shinobu, like, there's gotta be a reason behind that. I'm gonna let you cook. Maybe she got a super plan or something like that. She did not have a super plan, and we should not have let her cook. She only landed 2 blows for real, and it was the beginning and the end. In the middle, there was a little there was a multi-poke thing she did, man. The super butterfly shit. I don't know, man. I'm over here thinking to myself, like, if you can't behead demons, I would think that you would be rushing down on them. Poke, 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 jab, 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 jab. No, that's not what she was doing. I don't know what was going through her head, but she was not cooking. And she thought about that. Her second to last attack on bro. Her second to last attack on bro was probably the best that she had gone for the whole time. And unfortunately, this is where all the wounds happen, where we see clearly that Shinobu is going to lose. Because that's when she got all her vitals hit during that move. But then we got the flashback to her master talking to her. So we thought she was gonna make this crazy lock-in comeback, right? And I mean, she did lock in. She did a great move at the end there. Just to go for the throat finally. She did try to behead him, I believe. And I mean, it didn't work out. It was nothing. The poison was literally non-existent. Honestly, it wasn't. The sheer force behind her attack did more damage than the poison itself. If she was moving like that from the beginning, she would have had a decent chance. But anyways, yeah, she tries to go for the throat, but then really, like, the poison, he just heals immediately, whatever. And this is where it happens. He reels her in and gives her a speech about how she tried her best, and she admitting to her that she was weaker than her sister, and telling her, yo, you know what I'm saying, you must have trained so hard to get here. Bro was having a sentimental moment himself. And right before actually killing her, Kanoa, which I thought her name was Kanao this whole time, Kanoa shows up and has to watch her master get eaten. Yeah, she just died right there, just like that. And oh my goodness, y'all. Okay, so this is affecting my actual rating, where I'm going to need help, because I'm having a hard time trying to figure out in this battle, like, how salty am I? Like, I'm very salty, but does it make sense? All right, let's mark it down. Shinobu this whole time, right, as a Hashira, it doesn't matter, she's a Hashira, bro. It's very sorry and sad the way she went out. You know what I'm saying? It was basically just like that. One of my biggest problems with this is the message that she went out with. There was no message. Her master came to her in the last moments and gave her a great speech, a great, very black mom speech. She's over here crying, you know what I'm saying? She on the ground. Hey, I can't even stand up. Yeah, you can. I can't beat him. Oh, you said you were going to. Now do it. Definitely one of those speeches, and it was actually really good. And that's before we get the Shinobu lock-in. But that's the thing. It all led to nothing. You know what I mean? Her master, in the flashback, when her master got killed, she said, Shinobu said it herself, like, oh, master, you wanted to tell me back then that I was too weak, didn't you? But you didn't have the heart to say so. Just for her to live all this time later, train all this time later, and that's exactly what happened. You were too weak, and then boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the whole point of any of that? As a Hashira, we were all expecting more. You know what I mean? So that was pretty disappointing, and it's sad to see that she went out that way. I'm literally in between giving Demon Slayer points, like respect points for this, and appreciating it, and taking respect away and giving them a tally mark or whatever you want to say, and starting to hate on them for it. It's just because the way that they did it was absolutely horrible. We don't get a message. You know what I'm saying? Like All Might, hey, it's your turn. You take it from here, said Nanami. Even Rengoku with the Set Your Heart Ablaze. We got very sentimental value and like a message out of it. We got a very sentimental and important message out of their deaths. Shinobu left us with nothing. She was literally too weak, and it proved. And then at the same time, she was going on about how she envied Kiyome because, oh, he's so big, he's so strong. When he shows up, anybody would feel safe. This is a horrible message to go out with, because those were her last words. Those were really her last words. Her crying and talking about how she's too weak were her last words. I don't care about that. Oh, do you have any last words? And she told him to rot in hell. That does not count. That does not count to me. And even if it does count to you, it has no message. Her final real words were her doubting herself and being saucy that she was too small and too weak. She was a woman. She was envying Gyome and them. And that's how she dies? They did my girl so wrong, y'all. And she went out just like her master, though. That is the same effect as if Tanjiro were to pull up to Akaza just to die. It gave us nothing in the end, and it was very, very bitter. Because she was doubting herself, sad, angry, salty about it. About everything. She went out accomplishing nothing. And she knew that. And she said that. That's why I'm angry. We didn't get any type of justice for Shinobu there at all. And before, and let me just pause my rant to say this. Before anybody goes to the comments saying some crazy stuff, I do not read manga. You manga fucktards have been the reason I have not been able to fully enjoy the animes for all these years. I was spoiled on Shinobu's death 4 years ago. The movie didn't even come out 4 days ago. And here I am, only just now being able to see this movie that was released 3 days ago, yesterday. And I already knew what was coming because of some manga forehead 4 years ago. This is not about manga. This is not about no future tense nothing. This is not about no past tense nothing. I'm just rating the movie. And on the movie itself, that's what we got. That's what it gave us. That is sad. Now resuming my rant. Well, not resuming my rant, because on the other hand, I want to give respect to Demon Slayer, because truth be told, that's exactly how it would go in real life. If this was real life, it would go no different than that. If you're too small, you're too weak, you're not ready, you're getting fried. If they're a demon, they're evil, they're not gonna give you a second chance. They're not gonna say, yeah, you know what I'm saying, you lost the battle, hey, just go run off and train some more. No, you're dead. You know what I mean? I gotta give points for realism. Realistic stuff, even in these animes and movies and stuff like that. Sometimes y'all gotta put the realism at a high, because stuff just gets too stupid. Like, that would never happen. Something like that would never happen. And it's just like, it disgusts you to the point where you don't even want to watch the movie no more. But that was very realistic. There ain't nobody coming to save you. And if there is somebody coming to save you, there's a decent chance that they're weaker than you. Or worse. Or just the same as you. And then they just come to get flipped too. Because if you couldn't do it, and they come in there at your same skill level, they can't do it neither. If I'm over here needing CPR, and I don't know CPR, somebody that's also me, my same skill level or whatever, comes up, I need CPR, they don't know CPR. The chances that somebody stronger and stronger to a point where they could beat Upper 2 shows up, the chances of that, somebody that strong just running around so much so to the point where they found you, yeah, that's just extremely low. And even then, who says they're gonna want to help you, bro? But that's real life though. And then I don't know, I just felt all types of different things from my girl, because I'm like, y'all might be a little sexist too about that, because I don't remember seeing no dude go out that sorry. No dude characters. Maybe I just ain't watched enough anime, bro. But I don't know. I was really feeling salty, and my emotions for Shinobu, it definitely makes me want to. I want to take a point away, because of my emotions and because of me being bitter, you know what I'm saying? And because of the message that they sent her out with, especially as a Hashira. But then on the other hand, it's like, yo, that's very realistic, and I gotta give points for realism, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really torn between my emotions and just what I know is right. One more thing about that battle though that really does make me salty on the way that they did her is that we don't get no clips. We don't get no clips away from it, you know what I mean? It's like the battle just went on straight through. For Mugen Train, when we got no clips, it made sense. We didn't have anything else going on in the back rooms. But here we had so many other things that we could have looked at. Whole time I'm over here watching this battle happen, I'm just hoping that they clip away. Okay, you know, show me something else. Now we get it. Shinobu's losing. Go. Can we see something else? Nah, bro. They did not clip away once. We saw dude's backstory in the middle of that fight, but I'm not counting that as a clip away because it's still it was dude still, and it just goes all the way through. Goes all the way through, really, no cuts. I know I said that was my last thing about that, but I got one more thing. The Upper 2, I hate that I actually like him. I like him, dude. I feel like he's corrupted, but he's being genuine in his actions. He really thinks he over here helping people. He wrong, but he right though. Like the way he was talking. They over here, these grown men bowing down to this little child. And this man's, he was feeding his parents delusion the whole time. He ain't never heard no voice of the gods, nothing. He like, man, this is stupid. This is stupid, but whatever. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm helping people, whatever, these poor humans, you know. And was bro a demon in that backstory? I wouldn't think so, but they're not supposed to be able to remember their full backstory. I don't even know. And after that battle, I believe we go straight into the Zenitsu battle next, which was, I don't have much to say about that. That shit was cool. That was hands down, that was clean cut. And honestly, that was probably shorter than the Shinobu fight. I don't know. His backstory though, the guy's backstory, Zenitsu's old comrade, I ain't gonna lie, again, points for realism. Nothing but plus. Nothing but a plus, because if this was real life, there would definitely be stories out there like that. He used to be my homie, used to be my brother, whatever, and he chose to be a demon. Now, with that being said, though, I gotta put this out there. Was dude wrong? And I don't remember his name, but Zenitsu's old comrade. Was he really wrong in this moment right here? Now, it's not explained in enough detail in the backstory how he went about getting the blood. But we see that number one is the one that gave him the blood, that turned him demon. Bro, how was he supposed to combat that? If I get caught lacking by number one and he's over here offering me blood, it's either demon or die. You know, it's either you're a demon or you die. I don't know. Unless he went somewhere and called upon number one himself, which I don't know how he would have been able to do that, then bro is a little bit more justified. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he right, but he's a little bit more justified in that. Number one caught me lacking, it's GG. That's all I'm saying about that. But the Zenitsu fight, clean, smooth as hell. My boy was conscious the whole time. W him. W me. And now the main part of the movie is the Akaza versus Giyu and Tanjiro. This whole battle, I don't really have any complaints. You know what I'm saying? The battle is crazy. Except one thing. What the hell happened there at the end when my man's lost his head and decided to still fight? If Giyu was any weaker, we'd be cooked. It's just that simple. I don't understand this whole plot changing, plot armor BS that be going on with the demons after they get their heads cut off and they still got other things going on. Like, we still have to fight them. Now, Akaza, that was completely question mark. And the reason, I'm not so much mad at the fact that he lived after his head being cut off. I'm mad at how he actually died. We defended against his... Giyu helped defend Tanjiro. Nah, not helped. I can't even sugarcoat it, y'all. Giyu literally defended Tanjiro while he was unconscious in the corner for like, I know telling how long. They did a whole skip through sequence. We can say that was 5 minutes. We can say it was 20 minutes. We can say it was 1 minute. We don't know. But he defended Tanjiro with his ass for however long after his head was already cut off. And then when Akaza was finally defeated, it ain't had nothing to do with us. It was, I think, his wife grabbing his arm from his past life and stuff like that. And then he chose to stay pure-ish. I don't know. His soul met peace because they was telling him welcome home and things like that. And then his body disappeared. So are you trying to tell me that the demons need to meet peace first before they die now? What that got to do with us? Because if we try to use Talk No Jutsu and it doesn't work, then how we beat him? Let's just say he was a special case. I'm hoping he was just a special case, because do not make that a regular thing. That will piss me off. But then when it comes down to that, his backstory in the first place, I really like his backstory. I think it was valid. And I fuck with Akaza too. I do like Akaza, man. Even though he took out my mans, he took out Goku. But I do really like Akaza, and I like his backstory. I like his backstory more than I like him, obviously, but I still like him too. Just like I like Upper 2. He took out my girl, but I still like Upper 2, because I feel like bro is me. If I was a demon, I would literally be Upper 2, if not Akaza. Still thinking he helping people and just he being true to himself though. Even if he wrong in the grand scheme of thing, He being true to himself, bro, and I feel like that's all you can do at the end of the day. That pretty much concludes the movie. I tried to go through it as fast as possible, only hitting on the points that I really had something to say about. You know what I'm saying? Hey, other than that BS, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for real. 10 out of 10 movie. But because of the BS, you know what I'm saying? And my negative bias and my mixed emotions and things like that, and my girl Shinobu, I'll be wanting to take points off. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into it. So when it comes down to the pacing of the movie, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. You're paying for Shinobu's death and Akaza's backstory. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Shinobu's death and Akaza's backstory is really the most important parts of what you're getting. Everybody came to see Zenitsu get lit, but if I'm being honest with you, that battle wasn't even that crazy. It wasn't even. It could have been an episode. You know what I'm saying? It's not movie worthy. Hot take or not, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Before you cook me in the comments, just remember, I enjoyed it. I liked the whole thing. I'm just saying, it could have been an episode. For that to be in the movie, the reason that you paid to go and see the movie, no, it's not worth it. Akaza's backstory was a fat chunk of the movie. Shinobu's death, that nobody wanted to see, by the way, nobody wanted to see that, was the intro of the movie. And the Akaza fight, the Akaza versus Giyu and Tanjiro fight, if I'm being honest with you, skip out the cutscenes, skip out the cutaways, skip out the dialogue, it's probably about 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? The fight itself is probably about 20 minutes. You know how they do it in animes, bro. They can't keep on stopping. They're going to keep on talking. Shit's going to keep happening in the background. But it's still clean. Everything is clean as hell about it. I'm not saying the movie ain't worth seeing. Of course not. I'm not saying that here. Don't try to twist my words. Speaking of, though, when it comes down to the way that Tanjiro defeated Akaza, can I just throw this out there? Once again, Tanjiro is being buffed and winning through his peers. Zenitsu and Inosuke, even when they're not there, are low-key carrying, bro. Inosuke, once again, saves the day. Because of his, he found out the compass thing with the whole killer instinct or fighting spirit. You know what I mean? That was taught to Tanjiro through Inosuke. And in a previous arc, when Mitsuri and Muchiro were fighting, he used Thunderclap and Flash, which is coming from Zenitsu. Once again, his peers saved the day. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, the movie is honestly 60% Akaza backstory. Opening up with Shinobu's death and Zenitsu fighting is like, it's honestly nothing special. Besides the fact that my boy's eyes were open, it's nothing like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, this is top 3 battles of the anime. No. This was a better, deeper peek into Zenitsu himself. That's what it really was. That's where the real shock comes from. No pun intended. After that, there's not much to point out, you know what I mean? So the pacing of the movie in itself slowed down drastically once we hit Akaza's backstory, because we just had a lot of that. It was just a whole lot of Akaza, you know what I mean? And his backstory, not even his current self. We got the Shinobu backstory, that was really short. We literally got more sentimental value out of Akaza than we did from Shinobu. I cannot let that slide, y'all. I'm sorry, bro. Y'all wanted me to cry over Akaza more than you wanted me to cry over Shinobu. When Shinobu died, all we got was the bird yelling. That was it. And now we got Konoha down there stuck with upper 2. And she's going to have to get sturdy. And we already know that's how animes do it. You're going to drop off Shinobu because you want to gas up Konoha. We understand. But gee willikers, bro, you could have gave me a little bit more than that. She deserved better. She deserved to go out better. Whole time she was fighting stupid. Low key. Like, what was the plan? Damn. But yes, if I were to try to give it the rating with the pacing, the action, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. I don't really know how to do it, but the pacing is probably not It's not for people that aren't really like in tuned. If you want to be really in tune and get all the details on like everything, then the pacing is for you. But if you're there mainly to see the battle, mainly to see boom, boom, bam, 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 you know what I'm saying, for it to be faster, the pacing is not for you. In the beginning, it was good. It was decent. We got a whole lot of flashing back and forth. We saw, you know what I'm saying, Sanemi getting angry and whatnot. We did get a clip of Inosuke. We you know what I'm saying, we got things here and there. But then once we got to like Akaza and his backstory and things like that, it really went on for like 30 minutes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was looking at that like, nah, I'm not saying I'm not interested, but don't we got like 20 other things going on right now? Why are we spending so much time on this? And that leads me to the ending. Here we go again with the movies leaving us on cliffhangers. Why are we getting movies on cliffhangers? Now listen, I understand that I'm an idiot. Okay, I will admit I'm an idiot. I don't know why I went into this movie thinking that this was the finale. I even said it in one of my previous streams. I was like, okay, so is this closing out Demon Slayer? Is that it? After we see this movie, is that the ending? I don't know why I really did think that though. I gotta be honest. I really did think that this was the end. But this ain't even half of the ending. This ain't even half of what we got going on. We don't see Gyome. We don't see Mitsuri. We don't see Iguro. We don't see Sanemi. We don't see Tokito. We don't see Inosuke. We don't see Genya. I probably said that already. And damn sure didn't see no Muzan. And that ain't even starting... That ain't even getting upper one. Upper one, we barely saw shit. Like, bro. God damn. All we saw was bro crash out. And we gonna need some specialists on that guy's power scaling too. Because that's gonna be stupid. So back to what I was talking about. And I'm sorry I'm all over the place. But back to what I was talking about a little bit before. About Zenitsu's peer. His old comrade. Yeah, I'm not saying he's right. Should he have died? I mean, he was dead either way. Honestly, bro, it's so tricky. If I get caught lacking by upper one, just straight hands down, just take my cheeks, bro. Just die, I guess. Just die. You die with honor, I guess. Speaking of dying, what is with the backstory and the slip and slide? The Doki Doki effect in this, and the backstory was kind of wicked. I'm not gonna lie, but again, realistic. I gotta give it to him. I was talking to Pronet about this shit, and he was like, "Bro, if I'm popping, I'm over here. I gotta pass down thunder breathing, and all I got to give it to is two fucking bums. One of them's a crybaby, and is then the other one becomes a demon." Just take my cheese, bro. And then Akaza's father, or grandfather, or whatever, man. If this child is over here stealing for my sake when they can have a much better life if I just wasn't around, I understand it. I understand it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's a little bit more justified because I understand. Now we can go somewhere with it because I have understanding. But not even getting into that because it doesn't matter. It happened. And then in him doing that, I still feel like he should have went to go fight the other uppers. Because not only did he promise that before, which was his whole problem, him breaking his promises. Not only did he promise that before, but I mean, if he wanted to die, Muzan would have got his ass, wouldn't he have, for turning on his people? But I guess with him finding peace, he let go of all of those grudges, let go of all of that promise, let go of all that bullshit, right? So either way, it worked out. My official rating of the movie, it's very, like I said, I'm very in between. I'm very emotional over Shinobu, but if I had to give one for this video, just to satisfy you all, it would be a clean 7. It would be a clean 7 because ultimately, I'm gonna be honest with you, it shouldn't have been a movie. It shouldn't have been made a movie. I don't know what they wanted to gas up or what they were doing when they made this a movie, because it's very questionable to me that it is a movie. I really don't understand. Are they just gassing that there's a new season or something? I'm not sure, because this, but bro, look, Gyutaro, The entertainment district arc should have been a movie before this. That's how I feel. That's truthfully how I feel. Mugen Train and Entertainment District should have been arcs. The Infinity Castle, to call it the Infinity Castle and then give us a movie that's less than 50% of what's going on within the Infinity Castle is crazy. That's crazy work. Because now you're going to have to drop Infinity Castle 2, Infinity Castle 3. Like, bro. I mean, I guess it really is Infinity, huh? But I personally do believe that it's like, oh my goodness, bro. Why was it gassed up to be a movie? Drop the season. Again, I don't know why I expected this to actually finish off the series. I can admit that I'm stupid when it comes to that. But it's still crazy that we got the cliffhanger that we did. I'm not a fan of that. So it shouldn't have been a movie. They did Shinobu wrong. I paid for 60% backstory. Those, you know what I'm saying? Those are my only real. And I can't even really take a point off for the backstory because I enjoy the backstory. I just know a lot of people probably didn't. But it ain't about them. It's about me. So I'm going to say a solid 7 just because my emotional negativity in there, bro. I'm going to take those 3 points off. And I could handle a death. I can handle that. You know what I'm saying? I can handle a Rengoku. You know what I'm saying? I can handle that and still not take a point off. Even with me being emotional, because I cried at that scene all 3 times I seen it. But this one, I didn't even cry for Shinobu, and yet I felt like I should have. So the fact that they didn't, you know what I'm saying, they didn't even give me that sentimental background base. You know what I'm saying? Now it feels even more emotional because it's like I'm emotional that I'm not emotional. I don't know. It's very weird. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm very in between, very mixed into giving respect and taking it from them because the message that they left off with was very trash for Shinobu. That was very low. Even on the writer's part, that was very low. Y'all was rushing to drop Shinobu off, and that was, and it shows. It shows. But yeah, that's all I had to say, my people. I just had to come on here and give you a little review. This is the first installment of a movie review on the channel. Hey, man, if you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and subscribe and come back for some gaming because I don't do this on a regular basis. I don't even be watching movies on a regular basis, but this here had to show up. Had to show up. Thank y'all for watching.